The Denver Nuggets are absolutely my favorites to win the NBA championship this year. I don't think this should really be a question. Yes, the West is an absolute bloodbath. OKC just won it all, and they're running it back with even more depth this year. But speaking of depth, that's what Denver went out and got this offseason. They were playing with like 4.5 to 5.5 rotation players, depending on if Julian Strawther decided to show up or not, down the stretch in the playoffs. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. was a non-factor. Jamal was hurt. Jokic was obviously fatigued. Aaron Gordon got banged up towards the end. But now you go out, you add in new veterans, way more depth, and then you even get Daron Holmes, the second back, who looked pretty solid in the summer league, and you've got the best player in the world. That alone gives you an advantage over any other team in the league. And if we're being serious, he should have won the last 5 MVPs, right? Voter fatigue just got the best of him, like it does with any star who is an absolute monster. But I think he goes out and gets number 2 this year. That would be huge for like his GOAT legacy, because he'd be 29. He's already got 2 rings, 3 MVPs, maybe 4. He should have 5, 6 after the season he just put up. Ridiculous numbers. 58% shooting from the field, 42% from 3 as well. And we know this is a duo that can go out and get a chip, especially when Jamal Murray is healthy and playing well. That's just been kind of the issue so far. But moving on for Michael Porter Jr. was, I think, at the end of the day, the right move. They were able to turn MPJ into Cam Johnson and then 2 veterans off the bench, as well as Jonas Valanciunas, with a little bit of help from Dario Saric. And, I mean, you're talking about Michael Porter Jr., who, yes, was fantastic. I really liked MPJ. He's going to thrive in Brooklyn, but he was making $38.3 million per year. They turned that into 4 other players, including Cam Johnson, who's going to be a stud next year. He's getting paid $21 million per year, and he's going to improve like any player would when they play with the best player in the world. Look for 21 to 23 points a game from him next year. Jonas Valanciunas is making about $10.3 million this year, so you add those two up, that's about $31.3 million. And then you're bringing Bruce Brown back to Denver on a $3 million veteran minimum, and then you're also bringing Tim Hardaway Jr. in from Detroit. And I mean, that's not exactly a needle mover, but he's only getting paid $3.6 million, and he can take over some games from time to time off the bench. Overall, I think this is a much more consistent, much more well-rounded starting lineup than they had last year. Yes, they had the ability to go out and have a big-time game with MPJ always having that ability anytime he steps on the court to drop 40, but now with Cam Johnson a little more consistent and a much better bench, with Peyton Watson and Strawther being the only 2 returners on that bench. And really looking at all 4 of the guys they brought in, they're just great veterans, right? They're playing for the price of 1 in Michael Porter Jr., so this was really a no-brainer. Yes, they had to send out a first-round pick in 2032 for Cam Johnson, and who knows what that pick could end up being, but Cam Johnson is really going to improve. Playing alongside of Nikola Jokic, this is a win-win-win, because the Nets get a pretty valuable future asset. Cam Johnson gets to play with Nikola Jokic, and his numbers will shoot up. And then the Nuggets get their new small forward that can shoot 39% from 3, average 19 a game, and play fantastic defense. And like I said, look for him to average even more a game, playing off of Nikola Jokic next year. He played 57 games last year, and for a guy that is 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan that can play the 3 or the 4 and has playoff experience in big-time games, this is a home run addition for the Denver Nuggets. You trade that first-round pick, because there's not Nikola Jokic just walking around everywhere, and you have to maximize his talent while he's here. Bringing back Bruce Brown is also going to be fantastic. 8.2 points a game, 4.2 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 0.7 steals in 25 minutes a game. Shot 41% from the field and 36% from 3 on 2 attempts per game last year. And bringing him back, I mean, obviously he's already won a championship in Denver. He left, and then things kind of went downhill for both sides, Bruce Brown and the Nuggets. Of course, the Nuggets not getting back to the Western Conference Finals since he's been gone. We also get to see Brown and Brown defense attorneys back in Denver. He's a fan favorite. He's a veteran. He's a heads-up guy, and he's going to be a nice guy for the locker room as well as on the court. He can still knock down the 3 ball and can facilitate. And then you also bring in Jonas Valanciunas. And opposing centers are going to absolutely hate playing Denver next season, because you got 36 minutes in Nikola Jokic, and then when he's not on the court, you got this big behemoth who is 6'11", 265 pounds, bullying you the entire game. I mean, he just moves Mason Plumlee right out of the way right there. Shout out to the Hornets' new backup center, by the way, and just gets an easy putback layup. Average 10.5 points, 7.5 rebounds, 55% shooting from the field, and he really is a Bosnian bully, right? That's what they call him. Lithuanian Lightning, whatever you want to call him. right? He is a big dude. He can pass a little bit as well. He's going to be extremely tough coming off the bench in exchange for Jokic. And then Tim Hardaway Jr., who is just a nice wing to have, a nice veteran presence out there that can knock down the three ball. 11 points a game, 2.4 rebounds, 1.6 assists, and 0.5 steals in 28 minutes per game. Shot 41% from the field and 37% from three on 6 attempts a game last year as a member of the Detroit Pistons, a Detroit Pistons team that was an upstart team. They kind of came out of nowhere, and yes, he was overpaid because he was making $14 million, but now he comes in, he's a high upside guy off the bench that's only making $3 million. You'll take that all day long, especially a guy that can really shoot it. Last year, this was what the bench unit was heading into the season opener. Compared to now, we're talking about maybe even another leap forward for Peyton Watson and maybe a breakout season for Julian Strawther being the lead initiator off that bench unit, playing alongside of Tim Hardaway Jr. and Bruce Brown. You also got Daron Holmes and Jalen Pickett, and maybe even Tamar Bates, who looked decent in the summer league. The sky is the limit for this Nuggets team because they got at least 12 guys that are quality NBA players. Maybe they make another trade later on, and also you get to see year 2 Daron Holmes because we never got to see year 1 Daron Holmes, and he is really, really exciting in Denver. 6'10" with a 7'1" wingspan. So I don't know if he's going to play the 3, or not the 3. I don't know if he's going to play the 4 or the 5, where he's going to play. Probably a little bit of both if I had to guess. 20.5 points a game, 8.5 boards, 2.6 assists, 2.1 blocks in 32 minutes a game. Shot 54% from the field and 39% from 3 last year. He's got, a little bit of an old man game, but can also hit that post fade as well. That's really tough to stop. Getting to spots, knocking down mid ranges. He can play a modern brand of basketball or spin baseline and go dunk on you like he does right here. Getting to the middle of the floor. He loves those hop steps, gets to his spot and knocks down a fadeaway jumper. He can shoot the 3 ball as well, as we saw in the summer league, and just had a monster game last Thursday, excuse me. And I'm expecting a better year from Jamal Murray this year. There will not be as much pressure on him come playoff time. He averaged 21.4 points a game, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 1.4 steals per game in 36 minutes. And I'm one of the people that cover the Nuggets that are advocating to keep Jamal Murray. I think he stays in Denver no matter what. 47% shooting from the field, 39% from 3. You got to have that co-star alongside of Nikola Jokic. And Jamal Murray is pretty underrated when it comes to being a co-star. This is still, like I said, a duo that can go get you a chip. Now, I know he didn't quite live up to his 4-year, $208 million contract last year, but he still had a pretty good playoff run. It's not like he underperformed. His stats were up from what they were at the beginning of the regular season, where he averaged 22.5 points a game, 5.5 assists, 5.2 rebounds, did shoot 45% from the field, 38% from 3, and I felt bad for the guy, because Oklahoma City and the Clippers both had a plethora of defensive wings they could throw at you. And, they were hounding Murray all series long. Shout out to Aaron Gordon, Mr. Nugget, for what he did in Game 7 of that OKC series, gutting it out. Looking forward to him being healthy this year, coming off of a career year. And speaking of career years, Christian Braun, that man is going to get a bag after this year. So they need to kind of take advantage of that while they can, where Brown's still on his rookie deal. But with that being said, it's up to Nikola Jokic. He's got the weapons now, and I think he's going to make it happen because, like I said, he is the best player on the face of the earth right now, and that should not be a conversation that we're having. Shea fans, y'all can debate me in the comments all you want. He should have 5 straight MVPs. Jamal Murray is good enough to be that second option on a championship team with Nikola Jokic. With that being said, that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to hit the like button. Leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button, especially if you agree with me that the Denver Nuggets should be NBA champs next year.